Welcome to Blog to Your Talent. We are on lesson 24, and we are on the topic of how to write about your talent in a blog. And one of the ways of writing about your talent is making sure that you are getting to the point. Now, in a previous lesson, we talked about making sure that you don't have more than one point in a blog post. So in that case, we talked about you go to a workshop, you learn 3 important points, you break them up into 3 different posts. So that's one thing you need to do is break it 1 point per post. Okay. Now, you may run into another problem where you start writing and 2/3 of the way through you realize you're not sure what the point is you're trying to make. There's so much information flying everywhere. They're not necessarily main points, just a lot of little tidbits of information. And you tell yourself, I'm not getting to the point. And I'm sure if your readers read that post at that point in time would say the same thing. Get to the point. So what you want to do is when you are writing the post about your talent, is that you're writing again for a reason. You're not going on and on to show how wonderful you are and using clever words. You're trying to bring across information. So you want to take pride and confidence in knowing that you're bringing value to your reader by reading information from experts in a book perhaps, or a magazine article, professional magazine article related to your skill set. And you are going to distill that information down to one key point, but you're going to do it in such a way that your reader is almost going to get as much information reading your post as he would the original article.
So they don't have to read the original article.
So they don't have to read the original
just
article.
Save them some time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You save them some time. So this is what you're doing already as a beginner, even though you don't necessarily have original information. Yeah. You're going to represent that information in such a way that your reader is going to be grateful that you got to the points. For example, let's say your skill set is partly related to an outdoor fishing or sport activity, and you read in an article by one of the experts in the field about an amazing fishing expedition they took in Alaska. And it's a lot of good information in there, but in addition to writing this expert tells this wonderful story of how they finally got the boat out, and this happened, and they brought all this catch back and so forth. There's a lot of information that expert put out there that is great. Yeah. But you're going to take that information and you're going to summarize it down into 1 point, or if you have more than 1 point, to 3 blog posts.
Just maybe that 30 minutes on the water rather than how they fought traffic to get to the lake. Okay.
So somebody is going to look at your post, and if they were to compare to the original article, they're going to naturally want to gravitate to yours because you've already distilled it down to the basic information that your skill set is interested in.
And you'd probably be mentioning in there where you got, if you're taking an article or a book, you're referencing that book or article, so the person can also go back, and if they want to get more information, they may decide, oh, that sounds so good, I want to find out more, so they can go now straight to that article, whatever format it's in, and they can link to it so they can read it.
So again, the value that you're bringing to your reader is, in this particular technique, is that you are saving them time, and you are using your intelligence and your passion to try to bring it down to as few words as possible. Don't have to bring it too short, but few words as possible to bring the point across to the reader. So this is important. So anyways, what I want you to do at this point for this lesson is I want you to go back and find those 8 questions that you came up with for deciding whether or not you should buy a book related to your talent. And I want you to have those 8 questions handy next to you. Read a book quickly related to your talent, and hopefully by now you have already read a book.
You've devoured books by now in your talent area.
Exactly. And if you haven't, you better get out there and get one now and start reading up on it. So you're going to take those 8 questions that you came up with earlier, and you're going to read that book, and you're going to summarize, you're going to answer the questions using that book. Okay. And then you're going to post the answers to your questions about that book in a blog post. And that will be a book review.
Mm-hmm.
A simple
and
book
get used
review.
to doing that, because that is a fantastic way. Because it's common to read something and relate it to your talent, and then months later, you know there was a fact or just a little detail that can't remember exactly where you found that information, and you wish you could just get a little bit more about it and just kind of remind yourself this is where having that in your post and the history on your blog, that you can go back and look it up again.
Yeah, you know what's really fun is if you're hanging out with other friends in your talent fields, you're at a club that's related to your talent, or even an expert, and somebody says, hey, how do you do this? And it's like, oh, you know what, there's this great book and I in fact have a summary article on it, and you're able to give it to them. It feels really good.
Especially when you can just say, go straight to the blog, do a search for whatever that keyword is, welding or whatever, and they can go and find it, and you kind of become the hero to them because you gave them an answer to something that they were looking for.
Absolutely. Be the hero.
Be the hero.
All right. Thanks for listening to us, and we will see you on the next lesson. Happy Talent Journey.
What's the name of this book?
Directing the Story, by Francis Glowes.
All right. What 3 key points does he make?
Pretty much, it's about getting the story to flow constantly. This is actually, by the way, a storyboarding book. It's about storyboarding.
Oh, I see.
But more specifically, what it's actually about is getting the story to flow, making sure you have the story constantly keep on going on and on, but not get boring. And then also showing actions and stuff instead of having to tell them, like through dialogue and stuff, so you could pretty much see everything in the camera. It's whatever you see is telling the story. And it does cover drawing too, actually drawing characters and storyboarding and things like that. Pretty much just do an overview, what key points he made, like what Kev just now asked me. It doesn't have to be one paragraph long, I assume, because I didn't do more than paragraph long. And then put a link to the book also on the Amazon or wherever it is that you bought it or something like that. Anyway, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Caleb.
And we're out.